Some interesting data coming out, which is showing that although organizations are requiring employees to come back to the office, the rate at which employees are actually coming back to the office is far slower than what the mandates might suggest. And I think this is probably true for a number of reasons. Now, as the research points out, Nick Bloom, who does some fantastic work, I've had him on my podcast twice, we've talked about this many times. It's true, a lot of organizations are using these return to office mandates as a way to try to get employees to quit. So instead of firing them, you use that as a way to get some attrition. But I think there's also some other things going on here. This to me is a sign of a larger debate, which is much more around control versus autonomy. It's a battle between employees and the organization. It's not just about flexibility in where you work, but it is a bigger battle between organizations trying to exert some more control, which a lot of them lost during and post-pandemic, and employees who are trying to fight for their control, which a lot of employees actually gained during and post-pandemic. And so this is going to be a pretty, I think, interesting battle as far as how it actually plays out. But to be honest, should organizations really care about the stats in general? I don't think so. Every organization out there should do what makes sense for them. And we should all be focusing more on outcomes. We should all be focusing more on tying the initiatives that we have to the values that the organization has. So don't worry so much about what everybody else is doing, whether they're trying to get employees to get back to the office or not. Now, I'm a big believer in flexible work, but flexible work can mean a lot of different things. Maybe it's in the office every day, but just for a few hours. Maybe it's 3 days in the office, 2 days from home. I mean, you can pick and choose. There are so many different ways that you can do this, but you have to do what makes sense for your company. Now, take an organization like Chase. They want employees back to the office 5 days a week. That is the approach that makes sense for them. In the competing marketplace that we're all a part of, organizations can decide what they want, and employees can in turn decide if they want to be a part of that organization. So it is interesting to see that the demands are not quite aligned with employees actually showing up to the office. But again, the stats are more interesting than they are actionable because every organization should do what makes sense for them. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out. I think over the next coming months, by the end of this year, even into next year. But to me, this is a broader debate, a broader battle between control and who has it. Is it the organization? Is it the employees? And how do we meet somewhere in the middle? Curious to hear what you think. Leave me a comment below.